Hi, I'm Mike of Near Enough Dice. This is the Kerbal Space Program. Mun number 3 on the Mun. Not quite. I'm about a kilometre away from that, which I need to activate. It's about a kilometre and a bit away from the crashed vessel. And because I wasn't paying attention when I was doing my mining, I was thinking I was so clever. Doing the mining and the converting into fuel right at the same time. But I stopped paying attention as I sometimes do, and I now have a whole chunk of ore sitting there, which actually does terrible things to my delta V. When I'm at normal capacity, I'm at about 1700 delta V, but when I also have a full tank of ore, I'm way down at 1200 delta V. So I've actually lost 500 delta V from having all this ore that I don't need sat in my tanks. That's a bit of a problem. However, I do need to hover myself over there. So I can get rid of some of the problem by doing a bunch of hovering and stuff like that. So anyway, I need to do two things. I need to go grab that and go have a look at it. I could probably, where am I? I'm down here. So that's where we are right now. And then I'm going to want to do a jaunt up here, but I'm going to want to make sure that I've got the most delta V that I can, because this is a long jaunt, so I need to make sure that I have enough delta V to almost put myself into orbit, and then take myself out of almost being put into orbit, and then land without smashing into the ground or anything embarrassing like that. And actually, there's also I may also go through all the Highlands science I have. I'm also going to be slightly annoyed with myself because when I was down in the poles, there's actually polar. There's poles and there is polar lowlands, and I didn't check out the polar lowlands like what I should have done. I only got poles. I should have got polar lowlands. But I don't think I'm going to do that now. I'm going to get this, then go get that, and maybe wander about later on. Oop. Anyway, ooh, interesting graphical glitch. Oh, okay, I'm broken down. Anyway, that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to be speeding up a lot of this, and we'll see what happens. Before setting off, I first did some science, made sure that I had absolutely everything from the Highlands already done, anything they hadn't done, transmitted, and then re-got all that. And then I set off at a hover. I set off fairly slowly so that I could burn off as much delta V as possible. On the way, I got this rather sweet little shot. That's rather swish. I like that. And then it was just a matter of getting as close as possible without actually smashing into the thing. Right, so as you can see, there is a great big thing. I'm still on Highland, so there's no point doing any science, so that's alright. So we can close both of those. And we can have a look at what we've got. I'm going to, well, no, Bob's a scientist, he should go have a look. Now you can see that the RCS is still going. Ordinarily, I'd stop that. It's because the way it's... I wonder if any of these legs need repairing, actually. Well, that's interesting. It's actually resting, I think, directly on the rail. So that's interesting. Anyway, I have to walk around. Whoops! I don't know why I made him jump there. Don't hit the solar panel. Oh no, you don't hit the solar panel. All right, let's go. Let's go have a look-see at this. You can see how low the sun is in the sky. That is literally, we're about noon, actually, in terms of the sun, and that's as high as it gets right down here at the poles. So I presume that this must be kind of autumnish, winterish down here. We're not quite at the poles, where it's still stated as being highlands, but we're very close to the poles. Well, you can see there is a metallic gleam. This is obviously not natural. I think I'm not counting as EVA for the terms of the contract because I'm in flight. So I suspect we're on land. Ooh, look at that! Look at that! Dead mysterious. Okay, no, maybe I need to get closer. We may want Stelilia over here to look at it from an engineering point of view. I'm within 15 meters of the waypoint and nothing's happening yet. Well, there we go. Werner von Kerman has made a very odd noise and said, identical to the one on Kerbal. Perhaps it belonged to the monolith builder. Ooh. And that's got that contract. Investigate me to crash right. The truth is out there. Got some science out of that. What is my science like in a minute? Ooh, I'm very close. I am very close to being able to achieve one of my goals, which is to turn all science into money on a long-term basis thing. So there we go. That is the crashed spacecraft. All right, now that means we have exactly one more place to get to.
So it's back into the ship and off to the north. I had a brief kind of walk on the spaceship to see whether or not I could actually just walk through it like you can walk through the monolith, but you can't, so there you go. And off we trot. The main thing I did was I actually spent some time converting ore into fuel as I went. And once I'd done my initial burn, I actually put my solar panels out so I could not run out of electricity. That was done for two reasons. One, well, basically to lighten the craft and also get more fuel so that I would have more delta V at the other end. I also used the mini-map from the ScanSat map to enable me to get as close as I possibly could to the waypoint. And then all was left to do was hover the rest of the way and see if I could actually land underneath the arch.
Whoa. Don't know why we were tipping. Oh, that's weird. Ah, I wonder if we're not. Oh, I see what the problem is. I see what the problem is. Ah, right. Okay, so no, we can fix this. Landing under the arch with my leg balancing script is a mistake. Right. How can I stop that? Landing under the arch with my leg balancing script was in fact a mistake. Which one's that one? Leg one. Because the altitude is going to be taken from the top of the arch. So it's trying to balance not on the ground, but on the arch. And that's going to be leg 3. So we'll bring leg 3 back. So there you go. That was, I note to self, do not land directly underneath an archway if you have a leg balancing script. Okay, so the very last thing to do, well, it's not last thing like ever or anything, but the last for this particular set of contracts, it's go EVA and go have a look at that thing. This would make some pretty good goalposts. Maybe we should set up a sporting event. Moon Bowl, anyone? So investigate rock arches on the Mun. Maybe next we should fly a rocket through the arches. Well, I kind of could that. 975,000 Kerbal bucks. What's that leave me at? We'll say thank you. 13 million. I'm just going to board. I don't think there's any science I need to do around here. So let's leave that as our final image. And I'm going to say thanks very much for watching. Do please hit like and subscribe if you've been enjoying these videos. Come visit Nearly Enough Dice at nearlyenough.com. We're also on Facebook and Twitter, so you can find us there. And until next time, reach for those stars and be careful where you land.